Welcome to the Independent Rep Podcast, the podcast for medical sales reps, distributors, and growth-minded manufacturers who want to succeed in today's changing market. Hosted by John Wilson, former OR rep and now medical device recruiter, this show dives into what's really working out in the field, from deal making to distributor dynamics and everything in between. If you're building your career or your company in medtech, you're in the right place.
And we lose my background right when I start recording. So, okay. So yeah, I'm excited here. We have Eddie and Brandon, the co-founders of RepPrep.AI. So RepPrep.AI, a tool for reps to help them with, I'm going to let them get into it, but they were both reps as well, and they saw a need for this. So Eddie, can you introduce us to what RepPrep.AI is?
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for having us on. I'm Eddie. I'm the CEO, co-founder of RepPrep.AI. So RepPrep started as, it's actually kind of a funny story. I was on my way to a Seahawks game and had this idea, right? And it was actually for a completely separate product, but I had this idea of building out a work portfolio essentially for medical sales reps. And it came from, I had gotten laid off by a lab, as we've seen in the medical industry. And at the time I was struggling and trying to find a way to prove my book of business. And I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. So obviously the first person I'm going to call is Brandon, because I want to know if I'm crazy, if it's actually a good idea, or if I should just go to the football game. So I called Brandon and he's like, you know what, this is actually a pretty good idea. So we started building that out, and we were actually going to make RepPrep as a feature of it. But then we quickly pivoted because we were like, what we have with RepPrep is so powerful. And so we decided to pivot and started RepPrep. And so high level overview, RepPrep is a sales enablement platform. And what we're doing is we're actually we're focusing on the closing of physicians. A lot of other medtech platforms which we've used focus on identifying leads by CPT code. But there really wasn't a lot out there that was helping us gather data specifically for each physician, and then helping me separate myself from the 10 other competitors that are targeting this doctor. So we filter all of this data into this amazing report that's NPI specific. We find correlations between the doctor's research, new and emerging publications, and your products that you're selling. Give these doctors a customized sales call that's unique and made just for them.
Wow. So instead of Googling all this, learning about the surgeon in all different ways, you basically your RepPrep.AI is kind of surgeon focused, surgeon first for you. And you just download, essentially, or you access all of their information right away.
Yeah, exactly. And so, Eddie and I both have copy and pasted same resumes. So 10 years of experience in medical, started from orthopedics, went to diagnostics. And we noticed that there was a gap between the information that the executives at a given company were purchasing and what was actually making it to the rep and what was useful. And so we wanted to kind of bridge that gap and create something that could be utilized out in the field and in real life scenarios. So we first started by building this huge proprietary data set of information NPI, so physician contact information, their claims data, their research, their publications. And then we wanted to take that and utilize AI, since this huge AI boom is making things possible that never were before. And then feed that into large language models to actually tailor it to take your specific product, your territory, your personality, your communication style, and how to best tailor fit that to closing each individual physician, which has never been done before.
Yeah, it's the first 2 years of being a rep condensed into an app.
Exactly. Imagine you could have a rep now, an associate, a week on the job or fresh out of training. And now instead of trying to remember it's like drinking through a fire hose, the few weeks or a month that you spend training on any device, you have this in your phone. You have this assistant that will literally tell you exactly how to sell this, site-specific studies. You could choose any sales methodology that you like, whether it's feature, benefit, value, challenge, or spin selling. And it will take all the information that we can gather and put it in a nice, concise format. And you can program it. Say you only have 30 seconds with a physician out of the scrub sink. You can take those key talking points and make it effective. Because what we've noticed over the years is we keep hearing the term from these executives at these large, device companies. They utilize the term farmer a lot. So I feel like a lot of the time these companies believe that the reps are mostly staying in cases and not going out and selling new business, when in reality, you just don't have time to. If you have a good territory, you're always going to be in cases. But no one can make the excuse that they don't see a target doctor walking down the halls or washing their hands or even entering or exiting the facility, going to the parking lot. Like, you have a little bit of time. It's just, how do you turn that tiny amount of time into something that could actually be productive and lead to cases?
And, not to mention too, like, both Brand and I, we worked in oncology diagnostic. I mean, every lab that we work for, we were required to check into a minimum of like 5 accounts every day, right? But what we've seen is the most effective reps, the President's Club reps, they all pre-call plan. That's a very lengthy and time consuming process. And so what do you end up doing, right? You end up just going in there with your memorized facts, with your literature, doing the same thing every single time. And so what we've done here is, by harnessing AI and keeping the human element in it, because it's simply just an extension of you as the rep. And by doing that, we're creating more effective reps, more informed reps, which is leading to better interactions with physicians and an overall better experience that physicians are having with their reps.
Yeah, okay, let's dig into this. So I know you guys just started, so there's probably use cases are probably still rolling in. So if you're a spine rep and you're going doctor to doctor, you have your territory, does RepPrep.AI learn your product as you are using it, just like ChatGPT does? How does it customize around you as you're going?
Yep. Great question. So we wanted to make sure every aspect of our sales plan and even our CRM functionality is going to be completely customizable. So it's a really incredible tool. So you could actually drag and drop your own marketing material and it will create products for you. We don't want to save everybody's product. We don't want to predict. It's always constantly changing. Some companies don't want to share that data with their competitors, obviously. So we have it be customizable just by your specific account or your team account. So when you upload your PDF marketing material, it fills in like hundreds of boxes from ICD-10, CPTs, competitors, monitoring URLs, journals that it wants to follow. And then you can actually go in and fully customize it. Who do you want to sell against? Who are your main competitors? What objections do you have? Do you have any clinical studies or new supporting studies you want to add to it? And so you can customize each individual product, every physician profile, every sales methodology that you want into your specific product. Everybody sells different. I've always been a relationship salesperson myself. Eddie's more of a challenger sales type of person, and it all is very effective. But you have to be able to have a tool that fits a little bit of everything for each individual rep. The customizability is amazing. So whenever we have a new person sign up, and I mean, we have reps from every major company now that have been reaching out to us. We have a lot of big deals that have been in the pipeline and closing soon, which is really exciting too. But we recommend them to reach out to us directly. We set a demo. We help customize their specific territory, their products. Some reps work for distributors and they have 100 products. So we go ahead, upload those, make sure like that everything's approved by each individual member. And then the whole team can share all of those different products.
You're going to hear us use the word customized or customization a lot. And because it's something that really separates us out from other med tech companies. I mean, one thing we've noticed is that, we've met with, all the big ones, Zimmer Biomet, Stryker, and all of them, they use relatively the same med tech platforms, right? They're getting the same data. They're all sending their reps to the same physicians. And so all the customizations that we have in here, that's what makes the software so unique and so special. And it helps, it keeps that human element in medical sales, right?
So when I was a distributor rep, a lot of the tools that were out there were built for the big companies, priced out of my reach, and they just didn't apply. So are you guys, I'm sure you have a commercial platform, but if you're an individual rep listening to this right now, is there like a user that you can, a single license that you can just click on?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the cool thing about it. It's made by reps for reps. So we created everything with individual sales reps that are busting their ass every single day in mind. So you can get the platform for as low as $100 per month. And that's just for your individual account. You still have all the claims data. It's all Medicare. For enterprise and for teams accounts, we offer commercial claims data that's updated. We can do it every week, every day, even if they want. So the most up-to-date claims. But you'll still get all the Sunshine Act, the research, all the AI, the CRM dashboard, all that for $100 per month or $1,000 for the year. So we didn't want price to be a deterring factor. And the great thing about this is that you can expense it with most of your companies. you could reach out to us. We have a nice letter that we could present to management, and they just kind of sign it and get approved. And we've had no issues up to this point.
That's awesome. Okay, let's back up a little bit because this is just becoming an infomercial, but I mean, this is really cool. So I want to talk a little bit about your experience in just like as a rep. So, let's start, Brandon. How long ago did you start? You said you started with Stryker, you went into diagnostics. How'd you get into medical sales?
Absolutely. So I was a pre-medical student, University of Oregon, go Ducks. Ended up doing like thousands of hours of shadowing. I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon, extremely bad. Took the MCAT, did well. Then I did this, multi-country internship where I ended up in Thailand, all through Southeast Asia, working at like university hospitals. And one of the doctors I met, he was on the board of Stanford. He kind of changed my life, but he basically had a straightforward conversation, was like, I would not be a doctor in today. Like, I would not go back. Why don't you? I have somebody I want to introduce you to. And he introduced me to Stryker Rep. And I was like, wow, like you're making a lot of money. You're in cases. It's the coolest. It seems like a really cool job, and you don't have to spend $500,000 in med school. And so I set my goal on that. And I know experience. It took me 26 different interviews. Finally got a job with Mako Stryker over in Orange County. And quickly, I went from, not knowing much at all about, the operating room environment. I got top of my class for all the trainings and just started growing, then moved from the Mako, like the specialist division, to more of a sales side, selling implants and even capital, selling the robot with a cool hybrid role, and loved it. Was awarded multiple times over there. And then eventually just got a little burnout of the 4:30 a.m. wake ups and then in revisions till about midnight. So I ended up moving over, got an opportunity for diagnostics and oncology, and it was more of a 9-to-5 type deal, and seemed like the right bet, and it was easy, made a bunch of money, and it's been really cool. Now, full time with RepPrep, the amount that we're able to see and help these reps has been the coolest thing ever. We work with medical sales college, so they're in training. They get used to this platform. It's helping them get placed in jobs. They use it for interviews. I feel like I'm making more of an impact now, actually.
The market as a rep, this product is just so needed. So, And then Eddie, how'd you get into medical sales?
So I joined the Marine Corps right out of high school. And so when I got out, it's so at the time we were drawing out of Afghanistan. And so they were allowing Marines to get out up to like 12 months early. So I was in California. I inputted my early out package, and my master gunnery sergeant was like, oh, you want to get out of the Marines early? Okay, go to Yuma, Arizona and coach on the rifle range. So they sent me to Yuma, Arizona. I'm there and I visited the colleges in the area, and I applied to U of A and got in. And so I went to U of A, studied physio, but while I was in college, I was working as a corrective exercise personal trainer. And that's when I first realized that I was good at sales. This one time I went to the dog park, met this lady and sold her like a $5,000 training package the same day. So my boss, the owner of the gym, he's like, hey, you should be the weekend manager and train people. And an orthopedic surgeon happened to come in. I started training him, Dr. Alisea. He's an orthopedic surgeon in Tucson. And then another medical sales rep. And they started like pushing this idea on me. They're like, you should really get into it. And it's great. It's actually so funny. Like Brandon and our stories are so similar. Dr. Alisea was like, hey, I have a guy I want to introduce you to. I got contacted with him, moved up to Seattle, started working for Zimmer Biomet. And it's funny because now that same guy who gave me a shot in medical sales, Brandon Odor with Zimmer, they're one of our big clients. So started working in orthopedics, in trauma, in total joints. And then I did like a little bit of sports med, but not really. How that goes. And then during COVID got furloughed, and I actually didn't know Brandon, but we had a lot of mutual friends. And so I had one guy tell me, he was like, hey, you should talk to my buddy Brandon. Like, you guys are really similar, have similar backgrounds. The first person that told me, love him to death, Canali, but I was like, I don't know if I trust him. The second guy was like, hey, you should talk to Brandon. And I was like, okay, well, you're the second person to say that. So I called Brandon. He helped me get a job with Life Sciences, a diagnostic lab, as an account manager. Moved out to California, and just been best buds ever since.
Yeah, he actually only weighed 100 pounds when we met, taught him how to bench press, and he finally put a little muscle on.
That's awesome. That's an awesome story. Very cool how both of you guys got into it. I've talked to a lot of, independent reps at this point, a lot of just W2 reps as well. And there's all these different ways to get into this business. Both of you having kind of like a surgeon open the door for you I think it speaks really highly of your focus. And then that also carries through how you got into and did well in medical sales. So now going back to this, who was your first customer with RepPrep AI? If you can disclose that. You can
I
use
mean, even though it was
anonymous-
literally six months ago, it feels like the longest time. It was actually, you know what it was? It was a stem cell company. So the
Okay.
fact that RepPrep is a very like it could be used for any industry. It's not just orthopedics. It could be used for aesthetics, dental, everything. And so it's funny. I got introduced to a stem cell company, and at first I was like, "Oh, that wasn't really what our key target was, but let's do it." And they ended up like within a week unloaded, like released it to their entire sales force, and everyone's been crushing it since. And they were kind of like a smaller, like you didn't really hear about them much until like now they're crushing it. They're all over in my area, Southern California. I mean, every single med spa is utilizing them right now. And so that's cool. And then, I mean, Eddie has just been the marketing genius. I mean, he has absolutely just been posting everything through LinkedIn, opening up doors with us with Zimmer and Stryker and just large companies that would be like just a dream for us. And so we're kind of we like the bottom up approach. Is now we have about 1,000 users on the platform, and it's mostly just individual users at companies that then they introduce us to their, to their managers, and then the VPs of sales, then marketing, then executives. And it's pretty cool with how many people we've met over the past 10 years just in the industry, how many people are, willing to give us time for a meeting and demo, and then they see it. They're like, hell yeah,
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think the best thing that you can learn from med sales, and which helped us with, taking this from an idea to where it is now, is the thickness of your skin that you have to build when you're in this industry. Like my first ever surgery that I covered was a Mako total hip. And I'm fresh out of training, and I run it like it was the best thing ever. I was like so happy. And like the senior rep was just like watching me, and he was a hard ass. And after the surgery's all done, I'm filling out the order form, like with the lot codes and everything. And I misspell one little letter, and I just cross it out and then rewrite the lot code at the bottom. Senior rep walks up, calls me an effing idiot, crumples up the paper, throws it in. Everybody, like the surgeon is closing up. Everybody's looking over at me, and I'm just like, I feel like it was the end of the world, but then that was just the daily thing. Like you have to be excellent in it. And I feel like Eddie and I both have so many stories like that, where it's just like, okay, yeah, someone says no, or someone says, hey, like, I don't like this right now. We're just like, you know what? We're going to make it better. We're going to be better.
So what is, you have 6 months in, are you seeing features that you want to add down the road? Are you seeing kind of questions that come rolling in like, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? Like, I mean, I've been in Houston in the med center. Like I would love a map of how to even get from the parking lot to the OR. No one's come up with that yet, but I would love that.
That's actually funny you mentioned that, but like every single person. So we're working with some large distributors now and some large companies that we still consider this like a beta phase, because everybody's giving us a lot of intel. And to be honest, we haven't scratched the surface of what we're really able to do with AI now. But so we have some incredible things in the pipeline. I mean, I don't want to like give away all this stuff, but from automated call logging, recording, to basically a full-on personal assistant for anything that you need. Yeah. So there's a lot of incredible stuff that's going to be released. We've already started development, but that's what we love. Like we have on our every screen for RepPrep, there's a little question mark on the top right. If you're a rep, if you need anything specific, click that question mark, let us know. It gets sent to us immediately and all of our developers, and we add it to the queue. I have not seen something come across where we can't do it. The toughest thing at first was getting really good claims data and stuff that, like, this quality that these executives are used to spending millions of dollars for. We could offer it at pennies on the dollar. And we have this amazing data partnership now. So there's no data that we can't access anymore. And we have full approvals. So we have a lot less red tape than most of these people do. And it's been fun. We just kind of like dream about what little things to add.
We do have a lot of fun. This has been it's as a founder, if there's any founders listening to this, like you spend your entire day fixing problems, right? You don't have the liberty of like focusing on what's going right. You're focused on what's going wrong. And so in that sense, I mean, Brandon and I we've delegated responsibility so well, and we work together so well that we're able to just like get these features out and get customizations for companies and continuously develop this product to make it exactly what these companies need and want. And so like, I don't really call them clients. We call them partnerships, because between us and, Crosslink or Zimmer Biomet, like these are partnerships that we're working with them to build them a customized medtech solution that was designed just for them. Right. And so there I go. I said customizations again. So
Yeah.
We're not making any friends with the big healthcare analytics companies though up to this point.
Yeah.
we
No,
have
you're
a
not.
few that we've scared a little bit. They're scared of seeing the growth, and we've been banned from a couple of these webinars and conferences because they sponsor it, and they're scared of having a competitor.
Well,
So
they didn't target for reps, so they're trying to go after the big contract packages, so they're not
sell
in this world.
expensive.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You make a lot of money selling data, and that's what a lot of these companies have become. And so that's why you go right to our website, made by medical reps for medical reps. That's our motto. This is what we wanted our whole careers. So we just built it.
It really is. It's like it's the first 2 years of my job right there. Which I mean, and so now I'm getting into kind of like a Crunchbase kind of interview, but it's very cool because you guys I'm assuming neither of you are coders, like software coders.
I can barely turn on a computer.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, you're founders of a tech company because you've spotted a problem that everybody had and you're using technology to solve it. And it's just kind of the new age of what's now available to, people out there, which is pretty fascinating and fast.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, when did you start this?
So we had the original idea about 2 years ago for the separate company.
Mhm.
And then about a year and a half ago, we've been putting maybe even less than a year and a half, but we've been putting everything into RepPrep. And we've had highs and lows in the development process. We had to start from scratch one time, actually back in October, right before we were about to officially launch. And so if there's any advice I have though, and this was the best advice I ever received, is when you're starting a company, it's less so about funding. It's less so even about your product at first. It's about how well you can recruit. And so like Eddie and I, we both have similar backgrounds. Our sales is our bread and butter, but we've been able to identify specific niches and roles that we work better in to be able to separate that. And then we just built the best team of engineers I've ever seen in my life. And we learned so much. And then and then you learn a lot on the day. Like I'm a healthcare analytics, like data expert now. That's all I do day in and day out is get data sets, review them, basically find ways to supplement our existing proprietary set. And so you just learn, and it's so incredibly doable. It's amazing, but just surrounding yourself with the team and some people who could be supportive. I mean, Eddie's my therapist and he's also the CEO of the company. You know what I mean? We deal with, we always are helping each other, trying to lift it up because it's been an absolute roller coaster.
Well, it sounds like a great partnership. How long did you go after funding for outside? I mean, do you have outside funding or was this all just like bootstrapped by yourselves?
So first it was all bootstrapped by us. And so luckily at the time we were both, employed, making good money. So we were able to put, we weren't saving anything, but we were putting it all into the company. Because every VC we talk to, angel investor that we talk to, everyone's like, well, we need to see the concept first. And once you're making 100,000 a month, then, come to us. And we're like, wait, why would we do that? We already have money. So then we ended up just reaching out to a ton of angels investors along the way. We've raised quite a bit. Well, for us, quite a bit. For a lot of companies, probably not. But well over $500,000 has been raised. And that goes for our engineering and expansion, marketing, and bringing on new people. But we've been able to build this up very skinny. So we're here for the long run. We're already profitable, so we can pay our expenses. And now it's just about how much can we put in to pay for additional data or, go from there.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's like the gritty startup story that, builds sustainable companies rather than the big flash in the pan type of, unicorn wannabes. But I think this is just knowing the problem that you're solving from even just in medical sales. I'm sure you've thought about going outside of all of that. It's pretty exciting technology. Coming back to the independent reps, what one thing would you say to someone out there who's like, well, I'm looking at a couple other products, or I'm not sure I've been doing this 10 years. I don't need this. What's kind of like your sales pitch or your just advice for a rep, maybe 2 years in and 10 years in?
Absolutely. So to be honest, we hear it a lot from like senior reps. At first, they're like, I already know what my targets are. I know how to sell a product. I know all that. But there is always, after we show them a demo, there's always something on the report that they're like, wow, I'm so happy I knew this. At the very, very least, we are saving these reps, these senior reps who are amazing at their job, always hitting their quota. We're saving them time. Everybody's going to research a doctor. Everyone's going to try to stay up to date with publications, but you can have this all and pull a report in 20 seconds on your phone and have all that access. On top of that, since this company is built by reps, we will prioritize anything that you guys need. We are a flexible company that can report out things anyway. Like we just push something out in like 6 days, a whole new update. And so even if you're the most senior rep of all time, there has to be something that you're looking for, something that would make your life a hell of a lot easier, whether that's certain data that you'd like to see portrayed or a brand new feature that's never been done that could do it. We have the flexibility. And if you're brand new, or even if you're interviewing, use RepPrep to interview. You can already highlight your top 3 targets, know how to sell that specific product for that company, and know how to get your 30, 60, 90-day plan and blow away anybody in your interview. If you're a week or 2 on the job, you can go and be an expert in the field, know exactly how to sell something, what your talk tracks here that are approved by your company, and you have everything right there. So it just levels the playing field and standardizes.
It's interesting too, because like we've seen so many use cases for this software, like the interview thing, what Brandon was just talking about. That kind of blew our mind, but I love it. Like, I think that's awesome. And then start like going into that a little bit. We were telling these medical sales college students new to medical device sales, they're getting out there. And I was like, hey, show up to that interview, build out your pipeline, say, hey, on day 1, this is who I'm going to go see. On day 30, 60, 90, 120. And so I think that's really cool. And the way that we're developing these features, like obviously we can't do everything. So if you guys are listening, we can't do everything, but we're going to pick the best ideas, the ones that are the most versatile, and we're going to capitalize on it. I mean, something as simple as the logging call section, and then being able to go see the surgeon's surgical cadence. Like, as an associate rep, I would love to see all of my senior reps' notes about this doctor if I'm covering the case alone. It's like, hey, bring a small frag, only use ball tip guide wires, whatever it may be.
Wow.
Just having access to that notes and having access to these reports within 30 seconds. It's like, I don't know, it's like wearing a life vest, right? You have it if you need it, but it's always there to help you out and help you stand out, more importantly.
I think that, so there's a lot of people out there that work for Stryker, but or any big company, but they'll have a side hustle and, have a few products that are like, oh, I can pick this up and sell this because I'm already in the hospital. We always, it's always one of those things in the 1099 world that no one really talks about, but it happens. This is going to make it super easy to do that. I mean, they could just add this to their bag, and they don't have to go through Stryker training or, Zimmer Biomet training or whatever the big company is to know that product and to know the competitive landscape. You're going to basically democratize a lot of the sales process here.
We're trying to make it a little easier.
This is awesome. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm going to talk to all the reps I know about this right now.
Well, what's cool too, so I mean, not to like get in the nitty gritty of what we're developing, right? But the way that we've broken down even the product section, right? One thing we do is we always attach somebody from like marketing or sales training to the product section, so that if there's a new proprietary white paper, if there's a new company approved objection or talk track that they want, they can update it. And then in real time, it will update on the reports for these reps. So it's not just for reps, it's also for companies. I mean, if we look at the pharmaceutical space, there's so much red tape on what you can and can't say. Mm-hmm. And this is just like an additional way for them to ensure it's like, yes, get all the physician data, get all your competitive information. But when it gets to the sales call itself, remember, like, this is what legally you can say, and this is what you can't say. Right. So.
And I just went ahead. I just created a promo code for you and your listeners as well. It's going to be capital JW30, and that will give you guys 30 days free.
Awesome. JW30. Thank you, Brandon. I'll make sure that's out there and hopefully get you guys some more customers, because this is selling me right now.
Got it, man.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate your time.
Yeah,
thanks so much. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the Independent Rep Podcast. If you got value from today's episode, please follow, share, and leave a review. To connect with John or learn more about succeeding in medical device sales, visit theindependentrep.com. Until next time, keep grinding, keep learning, and stay independent.